Hello, everybody. We're wearing the same outfit. Who would have guessed?
Welcome to Delve's Inn. This is Delve.
And that's Gatsby. We read Reddit stories and creepypastas, and that's it. Just those two. I'm doing a batch recording, so I apologize if we are dressed the same. This is my wonderful cohort, and I am Goof. I'm getting worse at the intros, I think.
You are.
I'm getting worse at them. After I do like one, the first episode we record in a batch, I'm like, let's do it. But by the second one, I'm like, whatever.
We don't have to mention batch recording. We don't have to mention our outfits. Like, you're just over-explaining.
I feel like
no one cares.
Oh, you're right. Okay, well, we're reading from the Creepcast submissions again. This story is called Puss Baby by Lowman11-38, all caps.
1738.
That was worse than 6-7.
I know. I'm working on it.
Okay, she's working.
We're going.
We're
lower and lower.
We're regressing, by the way. So this was uploaded 18 hours ago on the Creepcast submissions. Once again, to reiterate, I'm stealing all the stories. Our dog is here. I don't know if you can see him. He's a worm dog. He's being normal. He's a fucking nap.
Go OBS.
He's worming. So, you know, we're still reading from the Creepcast submissions because there's honestly some really good stories in here. So I just really appreciate that I haven't been banned yet. This does have an NSFW content warning. I don't think it's for sexual content. I glean
Graphicness.
Yeah, just graphicness. So I'll read this one because it's pretty gross.
As long as it's... I think the grossest story we've ever read is that stupid fucking bird story.
Was it because he was eating them?
It was the descriptiveness.
I don't think there's any eating in this one. I think there's pimple popping, which you might like.
That shouldn't get an NSFW.
Well, let's find out. Won't we? Puss Baby. Humiliated. Ghastly. Freak. He couldn't go to work today. He couldn't go anywhere with that thing on his face. It was abhorrent. It looked cancerous and contagious all at once. It looked like plague bacillus clumped and malformed all together as one foul collection of dead blood and pooling pus. It was massive, purple and black at the center, save for the tip of thick cheese at the point of its volcanic spire. The flesh that surrounded the infected pore was a soft pink that looked wounded and seemed to cry out for relief from the pain. And the pain was considerable. Not since he was a child had he wept from physical pain. But this was torment. A hell. A hell living and alive and pulsing with its own unhealthy, abominable approximate of a heartbeat. In agonized mockery, time of his own. What? In agonized mockery, time of his own? With every pulse of blood sent throughout the whole of its form, it stabbed with its clustered nerves turned into little needles and jabbing knives all around the rest of the pale landscape of his face. He needed to lance the fucking thing. He needed to just rupture the nasty thing and drain it thoroughly, and then scrub out the crater it's going to leave behind with tons and tons of rubbing alcohol. And he'd been just about to do that too. Going to his little bathroom mirror with a clean towel and a little brown bottle of solution and a clean washcloth. He'd been about to start up the warm water and had stared into the mirror one last time before going to the task at hand when he'd stopped. Dead. The pain that shot through his face when it moved was lancing and wretched. It brought tears to his eyes, but he didn't dare blink. He didn't dare move himself. He didn't want to take his eyes away from the looking glass now. He couldn't take his eyes away from the massive sore on his face as it began to undulate. The infected, swollen flesh rippling and dancing of its own accord as if something was swimming inside. God help me. It punched. A slight pinprick break in the black dead flesh allowed a thin little high-pressure spurt of bloody cheese pus mixture to escape and spurt out in a skinny little gout that hit the mirror like a tiny water gun and began to paint its immaculate surface with its body's disgrace. He screamed as whatever lived inside continued to punch and try to rip and tear out of the dead eruption of flesh and infection on the cheek of his face. Just below the left eye, it was a flood of tears, hot and profuse, terror and pain alive and together. It punched again. He seized the sides of the sink as a tiny fist, birthed in gore and green milk, broke free of the dead ruin of gangrenous flesh. Another followed, likewise coated. They joined together and clasped then, as if in prayer or jubilant victory. The tiny hands shook, fisted as one in dripping slime and infection-laden blood that resembled cherry syrup mixed with sour cream. Oh. How you doing so far?
This is fine.
This is fine. She loves to pop pimples. I figured she may like this one.
Good thing Goof has...
But don't tell them that. Damn gross and acne-ridden.
Everyone has acne.
But
a lot of people have acne.
But you said, good thing Goof, like I'm a filthy little pig.
Well, no,
pimples.
because on myself, like I can't reach all of them.
You really don't get that many pimples. And even when you do, you don't really pop them.
But on you, I have your entire, chest, back, neck, head, ass, legs. I have so much leverage when it's another human being than me.
I guess. Don't let HR hear any of this. You're gonna get fired. You tell them you've been popping ass pimples. You've been popping ass pimples at work, dude.
That should go on my resume.
Proud of it. Well, I was moonlighting at the Delves Inn, but really my passion is for popping ass pimples.
I mean, behind closed doors, who cares, you know?
What do you think is the best pimple you've ever popped? Do you have like a you have a core memory of a pimple that's popped?
Yes. It was one of yours, actually.
Would you like to tell them?
Yeah, okay. So, like, honestly, I'm a pimple popper.
Yes, honestly you are.
And more often than not, is it just whiteheads.
Mm-hmm.
And, whiteheads, they vary in size and, like, amount, but you know what to expect. But one day, on Goo's back, there wasn't, like, anything on the surface to tell me what was underneath, but I felt like something under his skin. And there was a pore right there, so, like, I pushed the pore, and it was like a burrowed blackhead from who knows how long, because it's on your rack. But that shit was awesome. It was just different. It was different. It wasn't classic whitehead. It was a different color. It had a different texture, and it was like a good amount. Like, it was so satisfying.
See, that's the weird thing, is like the satisfaction you get from it. Because you and Jonathan's my best friend. He loves watching like pimple popping videos. He loves popping pimples. He's super into it.
I mean, I think that I've watched enough of Dr. Pimple Popper that I could do anything.
Except eat a bird.
She doesn't eat birds.
Oh, sorry. You mean just pimple related?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Or lymphomas or cysts. Like, I'm educated.
I had a cyst on my back one time that my mom popped, and it literally made a noise.
Oh yeah, cysts are crazy.
Yeah, she popped it and it went like that.
Yeah.
And it got in her mouth.
Oh yeah, I remember that story.
Yeah. It was gross. Sorry, Mom. Thanks for my guitar socks. Where was I? Then they came apart and began to test and work at both sides of the newly won hole and rip and widen it open so that the rest of what was inside might be free. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. He didn't even think to free his death grip from the sides of the small porcelain sink. The little homunculus man now had his head and torso out and free of the terrible flesh, covered and drenched in placenta pus like a demented, gore-drenched baby. He was trying to scream through thick mouthfuls of blood pus and placenta sac mixture, but it was choking and filling his tiny throat. His eyes were clamped shut against the thick, semi-translucent pink-green slime, but he continued to fight, blind. He continued to fight and struggle to be free. The man, horrified, let loose a wretched shriek he'd been building up as the little one finally tore himself out of the man's face and ripped himself free. The homunculus fell into the sink with a thick glob of red and black chunks and placenta pus film coating. The little one finally choked up the thick mixture in his small throat, spat it out, and finally joined the bigger one in his screaming. They shrieked and sang together, the pair for a moment, one voice smaller, both from overloaded terror and pain. From amongst the pudding mixture of yellow and black and red and green in the sink, the little one looked up with his tiny little rat man's eyes to the man with a cretorious pore above him like a giant Nephilim mother with great tears about his face. He reached up with a pus-gore drenched hand and arm, dripping, sliming, as if reaching out for help, supplication, salvation. God, help me. Please. He was bald and completely smooth amongst the cold chowder of dead bread and cheese, like a baby, but his features and proportions were that of a man, just out of adolescence, early 20s. Please. It called out to him in a voice that was small, but deeper than expected, if he'd expected anything at all in relation to this. Please, please don't hurt me, Mother, Father. Please don't hurt me, God Daddy. He stared down with eyes that were still not quite believing, but the tears were still flowing. The Mother, Father, Nephilim God's tears would not cease. Please, please, I'm sorry, Mother, Father. Please, I'm sorry. Please don't hurt me, giant God Daddy. The little pus baby begged for life amongst the placenta sack of death fluid in a cooling stew around him in the birthing basin of the small porcelain bathroom sink. Please, please don't kill me. Please. The end. Strong beginning, weak end.
To me, this is just more hee hee ha ha.
Yeah, it does.
Not creepy.
But that's what I mean. I feel like it had a strong beginning where it could have been taken seriously, but by the time he was like, and it's a tiny man in his 20s, I was like, okay. It started getting goofy. Yeah, saying...
Also, I feel like... What are the chances that someone can just flag it as not safe for work just to get clicks? Because what about this is not safe for work?
Yeah, I mean, as far as horror goes, this isn't, like, against the boundaries whatsoever. I mean, nothing died, nothing was naked, nothing sexual. Mm-hmm. It's just very vivid in its description of pus, but I don't know. But you're right, maybe they flagged it not safe for work to get clicks.
But
yeah, excuse me. I mean, if they were going for funny, I don't think they quite hit it either. And if they were going for like serious, they also didn't quite hit it. I feel like it should have committed to one or the other. Like either be funny the whole time or be serious the whole time. The weird God Daddy stuff at the end was just like, okay. I get it, it's kind of goofy. But you're not taking yourself seriously. Good story, well written, very vivid. The descriptions were good. I think the only problem is maybe a lot of run-on sentences and you kind of re-describe the same thing. Like he used like the description of like, you know, red, green, pus like over and over and over again. And it's like either don't keep referring to it or find a new way to describe it. Because re-describing the same picture was getting old. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean that's my only like critique would be like shorten the sentences and maybe don't be so over. I don't want to say over, but find a variety, more variety to describe it.
And like I get that this was meant to be shorter. And so like maybe the amount of description would fit a longer story than a shorter story, because the entire time it just felt like you said, kind of just describing it over and over and over again.
Yeah. And I'll say this too. I think that this story, you keep like the beginning in the middle, but then you end it like, do you remember in PT, the little fetus in the sink?
Yes.
Like you in the bathroom and it's just like, He should have ended it with that. Like it should have been like a literal fetus that came out of his face instead of like a little tiny man. That I think would have had a if we're going for the serious vibe, that would have had a stronger hit at the end, I think. Like literally just like a dead fetus pops out. It's like, what the hell? And then you don't explain anything, you just end the story. A man had a cyst that popped out a little kid. No dialogue, just that dude staring at a fucking dead fetus in his sink. Like, what the fuck just came out of me?
Mm-hmm.
I think that could have had a bigger impact if we're going for the serious vibe. If we're going for like a goofy thing, then he should have done like the little man started speaking to him in his face before he got out.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, ooh. He's like, huh? Is there something in my face? Then you could have made it a little funnier from the beginning. But I do like the mention of Nephilim in there. That's great for the Creepcast guys. I know Isaiah would love that shit. Do you know what a Nephilim is? In the Bible? You look so mad.
I'm listening.
You're like, oh great, he's gonna explain something else to me.
I'm listening.
Am I mansplaining too much? I'm sorry. Anyway, in the Bible, 1/3 of the angels were left heaven, and they came down here to breed with human women. And the offspring of those angel and women were called Nephilim, and they were giants. That's what Goliath is, with David and Goliath, the giant that he fought. It was a crossbreeding little thing. So yeah, I mean, that was a solid story. I don't want to give it a very high rating because of that ending. I think the God Daddy stuff really kind of put me off. I'm just not into that. That was gross. If I'm rating the beginning, I'd give it like a fuck. See, I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna say 6 or 7. I'll give it like a 6.7. How about that? That ending was like a 2. Didn't love the ending, but good story. Very descriptive. He does a really good job at the beginning of explaining very well the pain and nastiness that like a big ass cyst might have. Like, I could totally picture myself having a disgusting cyst on my face that fucking hurts and just keeps leaking. I mean, I could picture that all day. Did a very good job of that. Very strong beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much for watching this episode. We appreciate you watching. We hope you watch the next episode. Look who's being a good boy. This is our attack dog. He chases off all the stray cats that hang out at the hotel. The inn, excuse me.
I'm bad at this.
Well, he's also not very, what would you say, I don't know what I'm trying to say. He's not good with cameras. Camera shy? Anyway, thank you so much for watching. We look forward to you watching the next one. Like and subscribe. Maybe you should do the outros because I'm not good at them. Anyway, bye.